Now that overdriven amps are finally in and loud crunchy sound is sought after, we get a few new amp brands that would define generations. Modern British versus American amp debates mostly include Fender versus Marshall, or American versus British tone. But another British company that could nearly be substituted to represent Britain, even today, is Vox. Vox predates Marshall by 5 years. The first Vox amp was introduced in January 1958. Now let me read to you the Vox history page on Vox's website because it's just so British. The legendary sound of Vox amplification begins with Dick Denny, a young amplifier designer who began working for England's JMI Corporation in 1957. Dick, a guitarist himself, had his finger on the pulse of the rapidly evolving world of the electric guitar in the late 50s. And worked tirelessly with the JMI staff to design an amplifier that could offer the volume and sustain that guitarists of the time were craving. The result of their work was introduced to the world in January of 1958. This amplifier, dubbed the AC-115, marked the very first appearance of the Vox name on a guitar amplifier and thus began an institution that has thrived for nearly 60 years. Later shortened to the AC-15, this amp quickly became the choice of London's top guitarists, including Vic Flick, who used the AC-15 on his iconic recording of the James Bond theme. Yeah, that guy. The guy responsible for the tone bender. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. With rock and roll on the rise, in the spring of 1960, Dick Denny and the Vox crew quickly recognized that London's up-and-coming bands were craving more power from their amplifiers. Rather than design an entirely new amplifier from scratch, Denny decided to stick with what he knew was a winning design and double the power of his beloved AC-15. To accommodate the increased power of this amp, Denny saw it fit to expand the dimensions of the amplifier's cabinet and added an additional speaker. The resulting amp was dubbed the AC-30-4 Twin, boasting 30 watts, two 12-inch Celestian speakers, 4 inputs and 2 channels, normal and vibrato. The AC-30 Twin was a hit amongst rock and rollers in London and quickly established Vox as the most desired amplifier in all of Britain. Vox amps are famously bright and jangling. In July of 1962, the Beatles bought an AC-15 Twin and a top boost-equipped AC-30 Twin. They used them to record Love Me Do soon afterwards and defined their sounds for most of their discography. Bob Dylan, Brian May of Queen, The Edge from U2, and Mick Ronson from David Bowie's band all used Vox amps. Jimi Hendrix used an AC-30 for the overdubs on All Along the Watchtower. I mean, it was a Bob Dylan cover, so good move, Jimmy.